On July 9, 2007, Jonathan Eisenstat, a medical examiner for the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, received the body of Calvin Ellison for the purpose of performing an autopsy on the 9th day of July in 2007. What Dr. Eisenstat would fail to realize is that his own words would establish him as a co-conspirator in the framing of Roger Lee Baker Jr. Let's begin. Jonathan Eisenstat rendered his expert medical opinion that this 48-year-old man, Calvin Ellison, died as a result of an indeterminate range gunshot wound to the chest. But during our investigation of court testimony and his own report, we identified many discrepancies that would render a quite different cause of death. Dr. Eisenstat stated that the gunshot wound was to the left chest, that the entrance gunshot wound is on the left chest, and would also testify under oath that the cause of death is gunshot wound of chest with perforation of the lungs, pulmonary artery, and aorta, and the manner of death is homicide. He would also state on page 226 of court testimony, and my determination was that the gunshot wound went from left to right, went a little bit upwards, and then it went from front to back. The photo of Calvin Ellison used for jury review does not show any gunshot wound. What it does show is Calvin Ellison's right chest exposed and his shirt is torn with an electrode pad covering what appears to be a tattoo. On page 2 of Dr. Eisenstat's report, he indicated that a sun with sky high on the upper right chest exists. Why would they not take a picture of the left side of Calvin Ellison's chest, since that was the side the gunshot wound, according to Dr. Eisenstat's autopsy, would show? Exhibit 17 was presented for jury review, which does show a tattoo that says Thug Life and a wound that looks like the muzzle of a gun. On page 2 of Dr. Eisenstat's report, he indicated a tattoo exists on the body as Thug Life on the upper left chest. Since Dr. Eisenstat also stated that Calvin Ellison's death was due to an indeterminate range gunshot, why does he then indicate that the gunshot wound is 1/8 of an inch in size with a 1/8 inch of abrasion? In an article by Jack Claridge, Entrance and Exit Wounds, the expert author from Explore Forensics in the UK, he stated a close-range gunshot, if the weapon is touching the victim's body, will normally have what is known as an abrasion ring, and also a clear imprint of the weapon's barrel. The firearms expert from the GBI, Catherine Jordan, stated that gunpowder would stop depositing at approximately 42 inches, which is 3 feet 6 inches, and it would indicate this was not a close-range gunshot. So why would Dr. Eisenstat adamantly state the gunshot wound was from an indeterminate range from his own report and testimony above that this was not a close-range gunshot wound to the chest, and stated it as indeterminate when we can clearly see from the photo of the gunshot wound that this was a close-range gunshot, since the muzzle of the gun is clearly imprinted on the left chest, and the presence of a rim of abrasion, which is only available when the muzzle of a gun touches the flesh, is notated on Dr. Eisenstat's report. Stay tuned for part 2 of Medical Examiner Mudskipper.